What's going on, guys? It's your boy Sly Jordy, and welcome back to another year in review video. Basically, we do these every year. We have done these every year since 2019, and it's sort of a way to let you guys in to my personal life, pretty much. And I think there's a lot more of you this year. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. We finally hit 1,000 subscribers, so immediately I want to thank you guys so much for, honestly, as you could tell by the title, my most successful year on YouTube yet. I don't know the exact number of subscribers that I've actually gained this year, but it's basically been the most that I have gained ever. Here it is. So I don't know if that's inverted or not. No, that's actually how my room looks. So if you could see that, I gained 346 new subscribers this year, which is a record for the channel. And how did we do that, you might ask? Well, let's get this started. So obviously, as usual, I have a little checklist of things that I kind of want to hit, that I want to talk about. This is not going to be as long as last year's video. I was really pushing it last year with, what was it, 59 minutes, 59 seconds? Like, really had to push that. And there was so much that went on in 2023. So many new experiences, both good and bad. And granted, I still had a big year, don't get me wrong, but nowhere near as big as 2023, so there won't be as much to talk about. But honestly, that's because I've kind of prioritized myself this year, and, you know, that sort of stuff we'll get to as we go along. So basically, we start as we usually start. How did 2024 begin? Well, basically, it was finishing off stuff that I had started in December of 2023. So, for starters, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I beat that for the first ever time, which was a big monumental moment. And it's strange because a lot of the things I'm about to talk about genuinely don't feel like they happened this year. But that's mainly because the winter, I don't really work during the winter. I live in a small seaside town, obviously. We don't get many tourists in the winter, obviously. Why would you want to go to the beach in the winter? So the place I usually work is closed, and so I just save up for the winter and just chill, basically. And yeah, we were just starting as we ended 2023, to be quite honest. By continuing those old series like Five Nights at Freddy's 2. We finished up Black Ops 3, which was a series that I had started in like summer 2022, something like that, or was it summer 2023? I don't really know. Either way, it had been over, I think it was 2023. I think it had been over a year since we actually started the Black Ops 3 max level grind. There's no double XP weekends on that game anymore, so it was just hard grinding on that game. But yeah, we finished that in January. It took a bit longer because in winter 2023, I was playing a lot more Black Ops Cold War as well, so and I, you know, kind of procrastinated on Black Ops 3 in 2023, and there was also F1 23 as well, which we'll get into. F1 23, actually, we started off the year continuing that My Team Career series, and that's one of the things that really doesn't feel like happened this year, even though that went on until like May 2024, which is crazy. But yeah, March came around, obviously January and February, we were just doing the content that we were usually doing. I think I did some of the Need for Speed retrospectives, going back to play all the older games. Those videos did really well. And again, we'll get into that when we hit the finally hitting 1K section. I keep looking at this. I'm actually going to put it down here so I can just look down instead of always looking to the side. But yeah, I did the same job. So I had the same experiences. However, I wasn't going to be spending as much money this year as I did in 2023. 2023 was kind of like just exploring. I was going outside a lot more, socializing a lot more, and spending my own money for the first time. And there was a lot less of that this year. I'd kind of just calmed myself down a bit. So yeah, not really too much to talk about there in terms of the job. You guys know how my job, basically whatever I said about my second job in 2023 pretty much would apply here, so I'm not going to waste anybody's time. We're just going to get into the finally hitting 1,000 subscribers. I went into YouTube content a lot differently this year. I prioritized myself pretty much, which we'll get more into, but part of that was actually doing videos in my own time. Pretty much the only thing that was always going on was the My Team career videos, and even that was really, really slowing down. So, yeah, pretty much there were times where I'd go like a week or so without dropping a video, and it was just a lot more relaxing. I put a lot less pressure on myself to upload, and I think doing that meant I made better videos, and each video that I put out, because they were the latest video for a lot longer than a day, they would have a lot more time to breathe. So I think the first big video that I worked on that wasn't like Five Nights at Freddy's F1, whatever, was I think it was WWE 2K24 getting announced. Obviously, we did the 2K23 review at the beginning of the year, which did decently well, about as much as I would have expected. But man, when they put out 2K24, when they revealed that game, there was a lot of hype around it, a lot of expectation, because it was, if you guys remember, 2024, this year, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, sorry, was the first WrestleMania. So 10 years ago in WWE 2K14, we got the 30 years of WrestleMania showcase, which had a fuck ton of matches. So we were expecting the same thing this year. It was 21 matches. 21 matches, supposedly representing 40 entire years of WrestleMania. No. That was just abysmal. That was disappointing. And obviously I made my first Angry Rants video of the year. That video title alone, I've stolen it from Angry Joe. He's usually the one that does Angry Rants, Angry Reviews. And there's a reason those videos always did well, because people want to see a reaction, man, you know? But obviously I wouldn't have a clickbait title like that without it being justified. And we did a lot of Angry Rants this year, but it started with 2K24. And to be honest, games in general this year were pretty bad. Even Black Ops 6 very recently has, been disappointing in a few aspects, which we'll get to. But obviously that's like October, so we don't need to get to that just yet. But yeah, WWE 2K24, I dropped the Angry Rant for the showcase. And wow, probably my most successful video that I've ever done, comments-wise, engagement-wise. There was a lot of people that pretty much shared the same sentiment as me. There were a minority of people, dum-dums, that didn't share the opinion, that they thought, oh, it was all right, leave the $1 million company alone, sort of thing. But a lot of people shared my sentiment, and I think it kind of reminded me that even though I don't play the WWE games nearly as much as I do anymore, my voice, my opinion is still needed, I would say. My attitude towards the franchise, at the very least, like, people with my attitude towards the franchise are needed. And we're going to go a lot harder on 2K25. I'm not buying that game, of course, after what 2K24 did. Like, we only played the My Rise, so there's no way I'm going to spend, full price on that game ever again, starting with 2K25. But I'm not going to get too much into 2K24. I have a video coming up very, very soon on that. We do the review of the WWE game every year, but they get put out on, PS Plus every year. In October, so I think that's when I'll get the game. I won't even have to spend money on it, period. So, not going to bother with that. But going with prioritizing myself, of course, we slowed down the video uploads, and I just put out videos that meant a lot more. I started doing Let's Plays a lot less. Obviously, we still did the odd live stream Let's Play, especially later on in the year, when certain things like Ratchet & Clank, I was finally able to do a classic Ratchet & Clank game on the channel. but I didn't really do too many Let's Plays. It was just F1, and I think I spent most of my time playing F1 23. I really, really, really loved that game, and I was really hyped towards F1 24. And you know, I pretty much literally prioritized myself to the point that I was only focusing on myself. I had completely quit dating. I did tell you guys that dating was like a big part of my year in 2023. I got into a relationship after all, and I was just kind of burnt out on it after all of that. And so I basically ended up deleting all the apps and just focusing on myself, like, entirely. And just buying new video games and stuff, only spending my money on that. And I got to the point where I never didn't have a few hundred in my bank account, you know? I got to a point where I didn't have to worry about it because I didn't spend it on anything big. Although, there was one list of things that I'd wanted to do for a while. And that was, you can probably see it in the background, not Need for Speed Carbon on the PS3, but I did play that very recently in December. I'd never actually played the PS3 version. There's not too much of a difference between the PS2 and the PS3 version, but there are subtle differences, and it's HD as well, so I was able to experience that in a whole new light, so to speak. But you might see it right here, my Nintendo DS. I spoke about this a little bit last year, talking about some of the games that I'd gotten on it, and I wanted to get a DSi because I remember asking for a DSi when I was a kid, and I never got it. Granted, eventually I'd got something better, which was the 2DS, which was basically the 3DS. But still, you know, I kind of wanted to make up for what I experienced in my childhood. I wanted to heal my inner child, so to speak. So, yeah, a lot of this year was still going into that, and we've got all of these games. Now these, I'll hold it up to you, every single Need for Speed game on DS. Now, if you want a video that's styled like this, because I can't obviously capture footage, if you want a video that's styled like this on the second channel, where I review and do a tier list of all these games, let me know. I'll probably do it anyway, because you can tell I'm visibly excited by the concept. But, yeah, we got Need for Speed Underground 2, which actually shares a lot more with Underground Rivals on the PSP than actual Underground 2. That's another thing that I'll probably do at some point, get a PSP, but we'll talk about that later. We've got Need for Speed Most Wanted on the DS, which is fucking garbage. Like, it's one of the worst, probably actually the worst racing game I've ever played. Although, compared to Underground 2, it is actually beatable. Underground 2 is beatable, but it's like really bullshit. It's really unfair, but it's a fun time if you just want to casually play. Most Wanted, on the other hand, absolutely is not. It's awful. Then we've got Carbon Own the City, which is Carbon, but with a completely different story. So it's got Carbon style and everything, but Own the City is a completely different story. It's really wacky, to be honest. It's dark wacky. Like, it's strange. It's like the writers went on acid and tried to make something like really dark and nuanced. Still fun, and definitely it's Carbon style. You guys know how much I love Carbon, so yeah, this was great. Awesome. Need for Speed Pro Street on the DS. It's got a completely different car on the front. If I show you guys the actual version of Pro Street, has the Nissan GTR. Well, this one doesn't have the GTR in the game, so it's just the RX-7. I actually kind of prefer it because I think it's Ryan Cooper's RX-7. I think it's the proper one that you see in like the Pro Street intro, so I actually prefer this cover, and this is really good. Like, surprisingly really good. Not that Carbon Own the City wasn't good. Carbon Own the City was great, and I remember that game from my childhood. But Pro Street, literally, this is a really good substitute for the actual game. Like, it's structured exactly the same. You've got circuit races, you've got drag races, you've got drift races. Pretty much everything that is in mainline Pro Street is in this game. Like, that's crazy. Need for Speed Undercover is actually pretty good. There's free roam, technically, on this game, which is insane. I don't know how you'd manage to get free roam on the DS. There's not many games that do it. Transformers was another game that did that as well. They did free roam, and that's another game I'm gonna have to get back soon. Both Decepticons and Autobots. That was like Transformers GTA. That was how Simpsons Hit and Run was kids GTA on main consoles. Transformers was like kids GTA on the DS. And then a game that I'd never actually played even the main version before, Need for Speed Nitro, which was the Nintendo exclusive Need for Speed game. So instead of Shift, we got Nitro. I like it on the DS. I've never played the main version on the Wii, but the DS version, I actually quite like it. It's very much like Undercover. It's made by the same guys who did Undercover, and I enjoyed Undercover anyway. So yeah, Nitro, really fun. And that was the last of them, really, unfortunately. We never got a Hot Pursuit Nintendo DS game. It went straight to the Run on the 3DS. I wonder why we never got Hot Pursuit on the DS. I feel like of all Need for Speed games that would have fit really well on the DS, especially with like an online multiplayer sort of thing, it would have been Hot Pursuit. But yeah, we never got that. Undercover was the closest that we got to that, and to be fair, Undercover multiplayer slapped, and I wish DS servers were still up now. But yeah, I guess the next thing we got to talk about is, unfortunately, the disappointment of F1 24. Oh my god, you guys have no idea how disappointed I was, unless you watched my videos on it. That game was atrocious, and the developers of it seem completely delusional. I don't know if the social media account is the same in general as the guys who made F1 23, because it's two different development teams. But my god, they're bragging about 100,000 people playing career mode. I'm sorry, but pretty much 99% of people who play the F1 game are playing career mode, and only 100k is woeful. It's absolutely woeful. I had more people view my channel this year than play F1 24 career mode, just to put that into perspective. And if you want proof, there you go. Hold on. I've got to turn the brightness down again. 138,000 views. That's more than people playing F1 24. And bear in mind, I'm a very small channel. My average views is about 30. If a video hits 30 views, I'm happy with it. That's kind of my average. And yeah, we've received a lot more views this year. Just circling back to hitting 1,000, doing all the angry rants and stuff. So F1 24 was the next angry rant, and we did two. We did the angry rant titled video, and then the I'm done with F1 24, which very nearly breached 1,000 views. And the 2K24 video I mentioned earlier on the showcase, that got about 4,000 views. And then we did a Life is Strange one later on, that has over 1,000 views. It's crazy. I have some Black Ops 6 videos that are really high views as well. One of them has over 1,000. I think it was the one we did on the Goblin. But it was great. Either way, going into the summer, pretty good year, and it would only get better. So on my PlayStation Vita, I actually didn't do much with it this year, except one thing. I bought and played Ratchet & Clank Size Matters for the first time. So Ratchet & Clank Size Matters was the PSP version of Ratchet & Clank. Pretty good game. Looks exactly like the classic Ratchet & Clanks, but a completely different engine built from the ground up. That's why it was a lot easier to get Size Matters onto PS4 and PS5, and that's why we can't see the original trilogy games just yet, because those games are spaghetti coded. Insomniac used every trick in the book to get those games functioning on the PS2, and that really hurt the games in the long run. It's possible, though, because we did get the HD remasters on PS3. As broken as they could be in some areas, I think they were serviceable. But yeah, we had that, Ratchet & Clank Size Matters, played that on the PS Vita for the first time, and then literally weeks after I'd beaten it for the first time, it was announced on the PlayStation 5. So I didn't have to buy it again, though, because if you own it on PS Vita, you get it for free on the PlayStation, so on the main consoles. So I didn't mind it. I was able to finally play a classic Ratchet & Clank game on the channel. That was really a dream of mine. Obviously, there are still games out there that I would still want to play. But yeah, that was great. Sly Cooper returned, I think, just after that as well. So I was finally able to play Sly Cooper 1 again, this time on the channel. And then obviously now I'm playing Sly Cooper 2 for the first time. And then we're doing Sly 3 at some point next year. It's great. And Sly Cooper, as you guys know, my channel, half of my channel name, the name Sly comes from Sly Cooper. I've kind of adopted that name alongside my actual name, Geordie. So that was great. Epic Mickey 1, which was Nintendo Wii exclusive, got a remake. Well, a remaster, actually, on every console, which was awesome. And we played that this year as well. That was a great game. Like, if you have any interest in Mickey Mouse at all, you have to. It's a must play. Or any mascot games. Like, if you like Ratchet, Sly, Jak and Daxter, Crash Bandicoot, if you like any of that stuff, Epic Mickey, same as Spyro, Epic Mickey will be right up your alley. Right up your alley. Definitely a must play. I cannot recommend Epic Mickey enough. I also can't recommend Sly Cooper and Ratchet and Clank Size Matters enough. You know, Size Matters, I know that gets a lot of hate online, and I'm actually working on a video right now. A video that I actually wanted to get out for the 28th of December. Or actually, no, before Christmas. But I procrastinated so much on that. It's still a huge problem of mine. But the script is mostly done. So that should be done like within the first 10 days of January. That should be out pretty quickly. Next up to talk about Halloween special. So right off of finishing up the bulk of work, I went into Halloween with kind of a point to prove to myself. So for years now, I have wanted to do some like this big Halloween special where we try to do as many Halloween videos as possible in the month. And this year, not the best attempt, but it was my first attempt. I wanted to do it last year in 2023, but I was in a relationship at the time and my mental health was in the dumps as well. So yeah, didn't have the motivation for it. This year, totally different, no weight on my shoulders. We're getting into it. And it started off really well. We did the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 thing. We also did Five Nights at Freddy's 3 earlier on in the year. I didn't mention that. But we did do that. I think we did that right after beating FNAF 2 as well. But yeah, we started off with FNAF 4, which was probably my most successful stream ever. Prior to this year, my most successful stream from what I remember, I think I had like 12 viewers at one point when WWE 2K18 came out for the first time. And I've never topped that since. But I think I had like 14 viewers on the FNAF 4 video at one point, and that was a stream, like, so big deal. 14 people watching at once. It was insane. And that was a video that you could go back and watch that video, and it's definitely one of the best streams, best videos, period, that I've ever done. I'm visibly shaking when we start that game. I was shit scared of Five Nights at Freddy's 4 for years, even though objectively, it is an incredibly easy game once you get into it. Hence why I was able to beat it in one stream. But man, starting that was so scary. So scary. But yeah, I did a few more videos that month, mainly focusing on Roblox horror games. So we did The Intruder, which didn't do well, mind you. But I enjoyed it nonetheless. So whatever, I don't care. We did a Backrooms video on this really good Backrooms level that I really should continue. We're definitely going to at some point. I just got to get around to it. And honestly, I do forget about it a lot. But every time I'm reminded of it, I remember how much I did enjoy it. So we'll definitely get back into that at some point. But we only did up to like 11 videos, and I felt a bit disappointed in myself for it. But it was a first attempt. You're never going to get anything right the first try, or it's very rare that you're going to get anything right the first try. So, yeah, I was really glad that I just did it, that I even tried, and we still got some great videos out of it. Videos that I could see people watching years from now. And that's really the main goal, to be honest, other than having fun and just doing what I want on here. And then obviously later on in Halloween, we finally got Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So big game for me personally. I started playing Call of Duty in 2022. Basically playing a lot of the old ones. I didn't play any of the new ones that came out besides the odd beta weekend for Modern Warfare 2 from 2 years ago. And then Modern Warfare 3 when that game was in open beta. But other than that, I'd never actually played a Call of Duty game at launch and did content on it at launch until Black Ops 6, and it's been really successful, to be honest. Obviously, most of my videos since the game came out have been centered around Black Ops 6. The channel logo right now is colored orange to represent that, and it's quite poetic as the room is orange. But yeah, Black Ops 6 started off so well and definitely was structured so well that I'm actually doing the dark matter grind. I never thought I'd ever do a camo grind in a COD game. I don't mind earning camos in Call of Duty, but it's never, my main goal is actually just to level up and stuff like that, and that's about it. I had no idea that I was about to put as much time as I have into Black Ops 6 as I have. Admittedly, it's kind of died down a bit. The maps are woeful. I'm not really going to get into it, but with the skill-based matchmaking and engagement-optimized matchmaking, along with the maps and the movement being so fast, I've definitely got pretty burnt out on Black Ops 6. It's like it's Call of Duty for TikTok brain people. Like, it's just complete brain rot at times, and just not enjoyable. So I definitely got a bit burnt out on that. If you want more information on that, my last video, which did pretty well as well, thank you for that, was on whether or not you should buy Black Ops 6. And yeah, I think you'll enjoy that video if you do watch that. We're going to continue Black Ops 6. I'm halfway through the camo grind nearly, so I may as well, at least give it a go. And I mean, we're only like 2 months in to the game's launch, so I could definitely get Dark Matter done and probably Master Prestige as well. I'm nearly Prestige 5 on that. So yeah, definitely something I'm really looking forward to. Another big thing that happened this year was I got back into watching WWE. So I haven't paid big attention to WWE since 2016. When we had the last like big brand split that we had, Raw and SmackDown Live. I went off of it over the years, and obviously in 2019 it was really bad. I always tried my best to watch SummerSlam and WrestleMania every year, but they were never really that memorable. I was talking to my little sister about it yesterday, that I don't really remember WrestleMania 36, 37, 38, and 39 all that well, which were the last few done by Vince McMahon. Obviously now Triple H runs it. And it's a big deal because this year I watched every single pay-per-view and I remember what happened in each and every one of them. And we've got a completely new rider now, which is Triple H. He knows what he's doing, and he's doing so well. The storylines, admittedly, some of them are dragging on a bit, like the Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan one. There was another one. Yeah, just the Judgment Day in general. Those rivalries stemming off of that. So Finn and Damian, they're really stretched as well. Like, why? But we've seen some like awesome things this year. Solo Sikoa, him and his new bloodline are hilarious. I love it. I just wish Solo would come out and show his personality a bit more, because when he has, it's been great. Like the I got tickets, or mimicking the Motor City, whatever those guys are. Sorry if I'm disrespecting them, because they are great. They're a great tag team. But he's like any place, anytime, like mimicking them. And every time you like making fun of Jey Uso, like every time you walk in here, it's like you go yee yee yee. Like when Solo Sikoa shows his personality, he is great. I know some people don't really support Solo Sikoa and think he's just a knockoff Tribal Chief, which he admittedly can be at times, but Solo does have his own personality, and I think he just needs to show that more. I'm really intrigued to see, like, he needs opportunities to show it more, and I'm really intrigued to see where they take the Bloodline story from there, especially with all the storylines that are branched off of it, like what Seth Rollins is doing, what CM Punk is doing, what Drew McIntyre is doing. they've been great. They've been fantastic. Even the women's division has been great. Obviously, the Liv Morgan situation, like I said, it's been stretched. I'm really over it. The tag team division is quite forgettable. But yeah, all in all, it's been great. Even the most mid pay-per-view, which was a toss-up between Money in the Bank and Bash in Berlin, which were two very, like, predictable pay-per-views, PLEs, whatever you call them, they were still great. They were still entertaining, and the matches were still fantastic. Absolutely awesome. But the best thing to come out of WWE this year is NXT. It's NXT. If you guys have not been watching NXT, you've only been watching WWE, you are really missing out. You are really, really missing out. You need to watch NXT. I found it a bit difficult to get into at first because you don't know any of the people there, you don't know any of the wrestlers. But once you watch week after week and you start learning about these new guys, oh my god, it's fantastic. Admittedly, the women's division could use a little bit of a boost. The mid-card women's division, which is another thing. We've got mid-card women's titles now, which is fantastic. That's been years in the making. That should have been done years ago. Women's Intercontinental Championships. I remember making that all the way back in like universe modes back in the day, like 2K16, 17 sort of thing. So it's about time we got women's mid-card titles. And admittedly, the Nia Jax division one is good, so I think that's SmackDown. And then Roxanne Perez on NXT is doing really good. The North American women's title is a bit of an afterthought right now. So Kalani Jordan lost it in a gauntlet match, so immediately the champion doesn't have that much credibility, in my opinion, as the person she faced. Obviously, Kalani went through 2 people already. She was like injured. So there's that. Hopefully they do something with that. But the main NXT title has been great. Obviously, we've got the North American title was great as well. Tony D'Angelo finally beating Obafemi was fantastic. That whole storyline. Admittedly, I don't know too much about what's going on now. I think What's-His-Face has returned. The Rich Holland, crazy guy. He's been a lot better. I remember when he was known as like the unsafe worker, but mate, in NXT now, since his return, he's been fantastic. Honestly, he's been really, really entertaining and believable, like a believable heel. I could believe the Redeemer is a brutal finishing move, and they really make it seem that way. Joe Hendry in NXT. I remember Joe Hendry all the way back in 2016, WCPW, and to see him now, where he is now, it is wild. It's crazy. I remember watching him wrestle Kurt Angle, for God's sakes, in True Destiny 2016. Insane. And now, here we are. He is a global superstar, and I guarantee he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. I'm that confident. I could pretty much guarantee it. It might age poorly, but we'll see. What else? Ethan Page, he's been great. I didn't know who the hell he was because I don't watch AEW, so I didn't know who he was when he first debuted, but he's been great. His theme song slaps as well. Trick Williams, I love him. It's just great. NXT is just fantastic. I would honestly say that NXT has been marginally better than the main roster this year. And that's saying something because the main roster has been fantastic, honestly. I think I want to do a WWE like PLE tier list. So let me know if you guys want to know about that. I'll do that on the second channel as well. Link in the description to that. And now we're into the next thing. I'm sorry. We're doing this again. Where is my music? I've not dropped a project since Binge Hours Part 2 in September 2022. It has been over 2 years since I even dropped a song. However, I can say that work has begun on the proper first album. This will be released high quality, like every other song you hear, like proper music on YouTube and SoundCloud. I don't know about streaming services. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. But I'm mainly going to just focus on like YouTube and SoundCloud and just having them up there. SoundCloud, just so you guys can download them. I think that's going to be great. And maybe I might be able to put it out on like other platforms. We'll see. Especially ones that like put out mixtapes. It's a shame that DatPiff isn't a thing now. But yeah, here's the laptop that I'm using. With FL Studio to, get the instrumentals and record vocals over them. The big thing about this is when I did music in, like, back in the day, I had to do it in one take, both verses or 3 verses on some songs. And if I fucked up, I had to restart the whole thing again. I don't have to do that this time. If I fuck up, I can just stop the recording, cut it, and then punch in, which is great. And here is the mic I'm using as well. Pretty good quality, and you guys are going to hear that in January. I am absolutely adamant on putting out a song in January next month. So for those of you who have missed music, I think I'll give you something right now. So this is from the intro song to the album. Here's part of the first verse. I don't rap to attain fame, would rather get my thoughts out of my brain. Stop myself from going insane with all the stress that I maintain. All my darkness, it ain't tame. I'm not trying to complain, just finding ways to explain who I am and how I came to be. Starting spitting bars with instrumentals playing through TVs. Now here we are, you see me, trying to become a brighter star. But so far, I'm like an apparition just appearing at club bars. It's a big change. No longer scrambling for change. Got a bank account, a job, and I'm no longer estranged from the world. I've worked hard on my confidence, and even if I rise to prominence, I'll never forget the bitches that try to assert dominance. Bullies at school beating me up, stepdad beating me rough. All the shit I took would have you wondering how I'm sounding so tough, huh? There you go. A bit clunky, obviously, and that's how I could do multiple takes of one verse. And obviously I'm still trying to get the flow down. But that's basically how it is, making music. It's all like a work in progress. And when you do hear it, it's going to be absolutely flawless. I'm not going to put out anything that isn't perfect by my standards. So, I hope you guys liked those bars. Those are going to be the first bars that you hear on the album, unless I change something. The flow definitely will be a lot smoother when you actually hear it. But yeah. That's just to placate anybody who has missed the music. It is there, and for those of you who watch these videos in their entireties, there's a little reward for you. I'm not going to clip this or anything and put it out. This is just for the people, the OGs, the people that watch, the die-hard fans. You know what I mean? Like the regular viewers that actually give a shit about me and the content. That was for you. So. I hope you appreciate that, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. The Christmas special returned. Thank you, TJ. Thank you, and thank you, Life, for giving us fucking time. Obviously, me and TJ can't do as many videos together as we used to do because we're growing up and we've got jobs to do and stuff. Especially TJ, he works all year, to my knowledge. There was that, but we did the Christmas special, which has honestly been a long time coming, because not only had it been 2 years since we did the last Christmas special, since we weren't able to do one in 2023, we've barely done any videos at all this year together. We did the Black Ops 6 Season 1 thing. I do have some leftover Black Ops 6 footage, but I have no idea how I'm going to upload that. It's just so out of left field now, since it was recorded even before Season 1. But I still have the footage, so I'm probably going to put that out. Maybe before this video. Maybe I'll just dump it out at midnight. I'm recording this at 10:50 p.m. on the 30th. Because I recorded it really late one of the past years. Was it last year or was it... I don't know. One of the videos I really had to rush out. And I don't want to do that this time. But basically, I'll probably... I'll hash that video together and I'll just put it out randomly for anybody who wants to watch it. So yeah, I think I'll do that. So you guys have either already watched it or you can go watch it right now. So yeah, other than that, we've not got too much to talk about other than, I guess, New Year's resolutions. And to be honest, other than finally putting out my music, and I've got multiple projects planned. You know me, when I do make music, I'm making a lot of it. I put out 2 projects a year back when we did do it. You know, I put out Devil's Advocate and Leftover. I put out Binge Hours and Devil's Advocate in 2019, Leftover Residue and Waiting for Eternity in 2020. I put out Young Charisma Side A and B in 2021, and then Young Charisma New Vegas and Binge Hours Part 2 in 2022. So I'm aiming to do something like that next year, so it won't just be the first album. It'll probably be an EP and maybe even a second album as well. We'll see. We'll just see. What I don't want to give myself too much work, and because if I give myself too much to do, there's going to be less quality because there's more quantity, and I don't want to do that. So yeah, other than that, honestly, I think it'll just be business as usual. Just keep putting myself first, because obviously, seeing as it's been the most successful year for me on YouTube, it's definitely working. Whatever I'm doing is working, and I want to go back and just play older games, you know, as I did on Need for Speed on the DS. I might buy myself a PSP to play all the Need for Speed PSP ports. This month I've been going back and playing older games. Obviously, since it's Christmas time, I play Batman Arkham Origins every year. I actually completed it today, finished up all the Riddler stuff, so that was really fun, and it's got me itching to go back to all the other Batman games. So it's Arkham Knight's 10-year anniversary next year, so we'll do something special about that. Probably not a Let's Play, as I already did that for the 5-year anniversary, and I was really happy with that playthrough. Something that we are going to be replaying with that has been due a replay through for a while, Need for Speed 2015. That is another game that turns 10 years old next year, and I'll probably start the replay through of that next month. I'm aiming for that anyway. Again, since we'll be releasing the Size Matters review, I want to do Challenge Mode 2 on Size Matters as well. So that will be coming at some point, and then we've got Sly 2 to finish, and then that alongside Need for Speed 2015 will probably be my limit for the first month. I also want to play Lego Batman 3. To finally do a review on that game, which has been years in the making. I've been putting it off for a while, but I got to finish Size Matters first. And then Secret Agent Clank, I want to do a short video on that as well, alongside finishing up all the challenges on that. I will not be doing challenge mode. Do not ask me again. I had multiple of you come into my live stream comment section asking, oh, are you going to play Secret Agent Clank challenge mode? Do you want me to go insane? I tell you what, I'll do you a deal. And I'll make it an impossible deal, because this is how much I don't want to do it. If I hit 2,000 subscribers at any point in 2025, I will attempt Secret Agent Clank challenge mode, and I will go until I physically cannot take it anymore, you know? So I won't half-arse it. I won't just do the one, like, Let's Play episode. Like, no, we'll go until I feel like we can't go anymore without actual suffering. So yeah, that's how much I don't want to do it, because that's a big milestone. We're only at like 1,100 and something. I think it's 1,150 right now. Let's have a look, actually, real quick. Come on. So going on to YouTube Studio, I'm at 1,193, so actually a lot closer to 1,200. Cool. So it could be possible, because we've earned what? Yeah, again, like 300 some subs this year. What if we double that? Whatever. Either way, if you guys really want Secret Agent Clank, make sure we get to 2,000 subscribers. Other than that, you've got two more videos on that game coming, and that's it. Size Matters, I want to keep playing that. I really do want to keep playing that, even past Challenge Mode 2. I want to do some challenge videos on it with some of the cheat codes that you do. Well, not cheat codes, but you unlock cheats through the skill points. So there's stuff like Mirrored Worlds that I want to do, which just, you know, flips it, mirrors it. That's something I definitely want to do. So, yeah, again, that's pretty much the extent of my New Year's resolutions. I'm full focusing like on music this year, next year. And also the dark matter grind, trying to do that as well. And then just overall having fun. I want to buy a VR headset this year, next year, for the PS5. I want to play Job Simulator. I want to play Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. Those are two games that I've wanted to play for years, and there could be other stuff as well. And I want to buy a PlayStation 2 because going back to playing some of the older PS3 games like Batman Arkham Origins, and then I played Need for Speed Carbon on the PS3 for the first time, and then went back to Pro Street for a bit as well. It just reminded me how much I missed those games from my childhood, you know? Obviously, some of them I can still play on the PS5, like stream them. Not like live stream them, unfortunately, but cloud stream them so I can play them myself. Things like Arkham Origins and all the Ratchet and Clank games I can play by myself. But there's games like the Need for Speed ones, Simpsons Hit and Run as well, and old WWE games that I just can't really play anymore because, you know, there's licensing and they don't re-release them. So I think I want to buy myself a PlayStation 2 at some point. My old PlayStation 3 actually broke this month. I tried using it, and yeah, I got the yellow light of death. So it served me well. It served me very well. So RIP to my PlayStation 3. But other than that, that is pretty much 2024 wrapped up. I did say it wasn't going to be as long. We still pushed it, so about 45 minutes. So maybe it was a bigger year than I thought, or maybe I just ramble. Either way, thank you guys once again so much for an incredible year. The most successful year in my YouTube career. Finally reaching 1,000 subscribers. Such a huge milestone. And yeah. It just shows that I'm doing something right, you know? I remember if you go back to the 2021 video, we only gained like 30 subscribers that year, and it devastated me because I was used to doing 200 subscribers every year. That was kind of the norm. But yeah, 2021 came straight out of left field. 2022 wasn't too big of a year neither. 23 was pretty decent, and 2024... I don't know, maybe it's a culmination of all that work. 2022 is when I started playing Call of Duty. 2023 is when I started playing F1. And then obviously I've returned to WWE since 2023. So, yeah, maybe it's a culmination of all that. Maybe the algorithm is getting used to my content and how stretched out it can be. And maybe I'm reaping the benefits for it. I don't know. But either way, I'm glad it's happening. And thank you to everybody, both new and old, that continues to watch these videos. I'm looking forward to 2025. I'm going to try and make that the best year yet. And with the things that I'm working towards and the things that, you know, that can happen as a result of those things, especially releasing my first, like, proper music, that's going to be such a big fucking deal. It could shape up to be the best year of my life, even better than 2023. So we'll see. I hope you guys come along to join the ride. Either way, once again, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys again so much for watching this video. If you guys liked it, be sure to hit that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I will see you all in 2025. Till next time, peace.